How much is too much? This is the question. And this is also a very interesting topic when it comes to landscape photography. How much is too much editing in Lightroom? How much is too much post-processing in Photoshop? We will talk about this. And I will share my thoughts while editing some landscape photography in Lightroom, of course. So don't go anywhere. Stay here. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography and I make videos just like this one where I share my thoughts about editing landscape photography in Lightroom. So if you're here for the very first time, it might be a great idea to subscribe. Not sure what's going on with my hair today. Maybe time for a haircut. Look at this. I am sure that if you are a photographer like me and you post your images on different social media, you have received this question. How much did you work on this image? Did you use Lightroom? How much did you edit in Lightroom? How much did you change these colors? How much did you do? What did you do? I get very annoyed by those kind of questions. Because in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. This is not the point. How much is too much? It's a very personal question. Yes, I don't think there is a too much. I don't think there is a limit. The limit is yourself. The limit is your vision. The limit is what you see. When I shoot my landscape photography and I have eventually a vision of what I will do in Lightroom, this vision might change over time, this vision might change by the time I get back. It doesn't really matter. While editing this photo, the limit is what is compelling to my eyes, to my vision. In the end, the only thing that matters to me is that the result is pleasing my eyes. Yes, I do post images on social medias and people will ask questions, but in the end I will only share an image that is compelling to me, that is pleasing to my eyes, that is the result of my vision, both while I take the shot and while I edit that photo. But then you might have the objection that there is people that are using multiple photos, sometimes of even different places, to create a composite image that does not exist, that does not correspond to reality. Well, you know, if that's what they like, if that's what they envision, why not? Maybe personally I'm not a big fan of that kind of photography, but at the same time I am guilty too, because in my Lady in Red series I do some composite too. Basically I take two shots, one long exposure and one short exposure in order to freeze the subject in that landscape. The frame is the same, the composition is the same, but that scene does not really exist. And by the way, since I mentioned those photos, let's see what I'm talking about. So it is up to you to decide what you like, what you don't, what you like for your photography and what you like for other people's photography. And in the end, as usual, the most important thing is just to create. So rather than sitting at the desk judging other people's photos, why don't you just go out, take photos for yourself, create your own landscape, embrace your vision and bring it to life. Talking about this, I think we should move to Lightroom and see how I edit my landscapes. You will tell me how much is too much. Here I am at my desk in front of Lightroom and I have this Lady in Red series picture taken in Iceland in this beautiful place which is the Vestrahorn headland. I was lucky enough that nobody else was there, and this is the beauty of traveling alone. This Lady in Red shot is different from most of the others. As a matter of fact, this is only one shot. I'm not actually merging two images together. I'm not using a long exposure. f8 ISO 100 1/20th of a second with my low yield 20mm f1.8. It's a cloudy day, low clouds, and in my vision I see the lady in red, which is armless but fearless, that is facing the strength and the drama of nature. And so I want to create drama in the sky, but because I wanted to retain the details in the foreground, I exposed my image all the way to the right, as you can see from my histogram, and I will be able to retrieve a lot of details from the sky. I do want to create drama with this image. Let's get started. As usual...
Which Jewel? Jewel Jazz Singer or Jewel Turner?
Really? No, Siri, no. Leave me alone. As usual, I will start from the aspect ratio. In this case, I like to use this image for my thumbnail. So let's see if the 16:9 crop will work. And I believe so. I opened the basic panel. I changed the profile to Adobe Landscape, which already brings some saturation in, you can see, and I already have more details even in the upper part of the image. I didn't use any ND filter for this photo, but at the same time I want to check my white balance. So I go and pick up a white neutral target, and as you can see, this does not work at all. I will try cloudy, and I think I like cloudy better. First thing first, I want to fix whites and blacks. I hold down the Shift key, double click on whites, and double click on blacks, and I already expanded a little bit my histogram to the left this time. I will decrease the exposure a little bit, add a little bit of contrast, decrease the highlights by a lot. I go all the way to -100, and just a little bit of shadows. A touch of clarity. I will work with the DAs quite a bit. And you can see how the mood is changing already very quickly. A little bit of vibrance. You will remember from my previous Lightroom tutorials, the vibrance is increasing the saturation to the more muted colors present in the image, while the saturation is actually increasing the saturation to every single color. I will give a touch of saturation as well. Now let's go to the tone curve, and I will see if the medium automatic contrast will work for me. I think it does. I'm not going to touch the hue, saturation and luminance panel for now. I will go straight into the split toning. Details. As you know, Lightroom will apply a little bit of sharpening right away, but I will change the radius. Want a smaller radius, but I will increase the details. I will hold the Alt key, move the masking slider to the right in order to see where the sharpening will affect. Everything that is going to be white will be touched by the sharpening. Whatever is black will not be touched. And I don't want any sharpening in the clouds. And now I can increase the sharpening, and I will be sure that will only affect the areas that I care. Let's zoom in to see if that's too much. You can see that the edging here is creating some kind of weird artifacts. And so sometimes it's the image that is telling you it's too much. So move it back. And I think it's better. My chromatic aberration and my profile corrections are happening at the moment of my import. Check out my previous videos to see how that can be set. And I will go to the effects panel because I want to add some vignetting to my shot. And let's see with these quick general adjustments what kind of results we have. This is the before, very flat. This is the after. Before, after. Now let's add some local adjustments, and the main thing I want to do is to increase the drama in the sky. So I will use a graduated filter. I will double click on effect in order to reset all the sliders. I will hold the shift key and drag down my filter from the top, release. Let's decrease the highlights here. Let's increase actually the contrast. I want to decrease the blacks. I want to decrease the exposure. Maybe too much, maybe not. I will add some dehaze. And I want to decrease the saturation. Also, I like to remove this filter from this part of the mountains that are becoming very, very dark, here to the left and to the right. And in order to do so, I will click on the bottom left corner in order to see which part of the images are affected. And then I will select the brush within the graduated filter and I will click on erase. In this way I can create a brush that will erase the filter from the area that I don't want to be touched. And you can see that the red is disappearing. And for the sake of the video, I'm doing this in a very quick way because I don't want this video to last forever. At the same time, if there are areas of the photo that are not touched by the graduated filter, like the clouds on the left and the clouds on the right, I can use a brush, and instead of erasing, I will actually stay to the A brush and fill in those areas that were not actually touched by the graduated filter. Okay, this is done. Let's see how it looks. Before, after, before, after. What do you think? Is this too much? So in my opinion, we should not put any limit to creativity. It sounds like a crazy contradiction in terms. I believe instead that we should follow our vision, trust our taste, please our eyes without trying to please everybody else. And it is also natural that over time our way of seeing things will develop, will change. In my own experience, my way of seeing, my way of editing in Lightroom changed a lot over time. Not only because I learned new techniques, but mainly because my taste changed. And I think it's a good thing. It means that we are still searching. But I'm curious to know what you think about this. So don't be shy, don't be lazy, just a few words in the comments below. Easy. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. And if you did, I think you should or could hit the like button. Maybe share the video with your wife, husband, boyfriend, friend. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next... Well, wait a second. Actually, I would like to know who is watching until the very, very end. If you do, just write in the comment, I do. Now, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.